Now, over the weekend, a number of mysterious large drones appeared hovering over US towns, cities and air bases. It caused a lot of alarm all across the country. It was said that the United States was in the grip of drone hysteria. President-elect Trump said that they should be shot down immediately, since nobody knew what they were, who had sent them, who was controlling them. If in doubt, shoot them down. That's what Trump said. But Joe Biden did nothing of the sort. They just went about their business, these drones. Now, Mr. Trump is not happy about this. Here he is sounding off.
The government knows what is happening. Look, our military knows where they took off from. If it's a garage, they can go right into that garage. They know where it came from and where it went. And for some reason, they don't want to comment. And I think they'd be better off saying what it is. Our military knows and our president knows. And for some reason, they want to keep people in suspense. I can't imagine it's the enemy, because if it was the enemy, they'd blast it out. Even if they were late, they'd blast it. Something strange is going on. For some reason, they don't want to tell the people.
So, well, Donald Trump there saying he doesn't think it was the enemy, although a lot of speculation that the Russians might have been behind these strange drone flights. Well, to discuss this, and also I want to talk about President-elect Trump's interesting new, well, they're not that new, but his interesting approach to energy policies, which offer a stark contrast to what we're having to endure here. Old Donald Trump is going to open up America. He's going to make it amazingly cheap. He's going to make it amazingly dynamic. He's going to make energy prices really affordable for Americans. They already are pretty cheap. They're going to get even cheaper. It's dead easy. He's just going to say, you know, all that green claptrap, sod it. We're not having it. We're just going to pursue policies that make life cheaper and better for American citizens and make our economy better. And I think it's going to work. It's going to work brilliantly. We'll talk about that in just a little bit. But first, I think we better talk drones. And a warm welcome to our friend from the Republican Overseas Organisation here in London, Greg Swenson. Hi, Greg.
Great to see you, Kevin.
Always a pleasure, mate. Well, what did you make of all these drones? I mean, over the weekend, I mean, apparently they were like big ones, you know, those ones that are almost the size of aircraft. So quite an alarming thing to see above your city or your town. Apparently, a lot of them were by sort of local air bases, which makes you ask a few questions, doesn't it?
Sure.
But at first, this speculation was that Russia had something to do with it. Donald Trump seems to be sort of shooting that down a bit now. But he at one point said, what are you waiting for? Shoot these drones down. If we don't know what they are, shoot them down. He's now saying that Joe Biden and the military know exactly what they are, where they're from, who's controlling them, but they won't tell us. What do you think's going on here, Greg?
It's tough to speculate, Kevin, but they're caught in this like conundrum here. You know, if Biden is saying and the administration is saying, we don't worry about it, we got this, but then they won't say what they are, it doesn't make any sense at all. Remember, this is from the president that let the Chinese spy balloon fly over the country when at one point everyone knew about it, and they waited a couple of days before they shot it down. So yeah, a little pressure from President Trump is probably healthy here. It just shows you the weakness of the Biden administration. It shouldn't be a surprise to anybody. We've had 3.5 or almost 4 years of this.
Quite strange that Trump, in that video that we just showed, is sort of he didn't accept this over the weekend, but he now seems to be saying he doesn't think it was the enemy. I'm assuming he's had some kind of indication from the White House or the Pentagon about what this is all about. But the point is, I think Trump is urging, at the very least, for Biden to come up with an explanation, because millions of Americans were pretty disconcerted by this.
Right. I mean, just do something, right? Either tell the American public what it is or what's going on, or shoot them down, or both. But I mean, it's typical Biden. There's obviously something going on here. You know, you've seen all the reports from New Jersey, especially, where people can see it. You know, it's not like they're, you know, it's not some crazy conspiracy theory. So yeah, the best thing to do would be tell the American public what it is. The press will possibly, make some story up. They already have, actually. So I think that if Biden was smart, which I'm not sure he is, he would actually tell the public something, or just shoot them down.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what space Joe Biden's in at the moment, but part of it is he's enjoying the demise of the Democrats, a bit like he's thinking, you screw with me.
There's a little spite there.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, he's enjoying their downfall here. So he's off on his own journey at the moment, I think. But let's talk about Donald's energy policies, and it's just struck me, right? So this country, you live here, you know what we're talking about, Greg. We are in for, a really expensive time, as Ed Miliband, Crazy Ed, covers the country in solar panels and windmills and tells us this lie that renewables will power this country and we won't be at the beck and call of big foreign superpowers like Russia, even though we already aren't, and so on and so forth. We're going to be in for an extremely expensive time. Our energy bills are going to go up and up and up because of this green lunacy. And Donald Trump, basically, it's dead easy. He's just come along and said, all that eco claptrap, go away. Not interested. We're going to carry on fracking. By the way, America has already been extremely successful in the field of fracking, right. Getting up shale gas to last America more than 100 years. And he's also now, apparently, he's going to have a big meeting with all of America's domestic oil producers, Texas, even parts of California, all the oil regions of America. And he's telling the oil tycoons, you produce, drill, baby, drill. I want cheap energy for the American people. So literally by just saying this green claptrap, don't want to know, not interested, he's going to make the American economy boom, and he's going to make life very cheap for thrilled Americans. Why can't we have that?
Yeah, it's a shame, Kevin. And it's, look at the UK was energy independent in 2005. That's not that long ago, okay? 19 years ago. President Trump is liberating the energy sector. It will help the economy, obviously, because of cheap energy, but it filters down to fertilizer and food and really has an effect on all consumer goods. And it's really a shame to see that Ed Miliband and all of his lot are consistently arguing for this net zero business. And it's nonsense, right? I mean, look, natural gas is cheap, it's clean, it's efficient, and look, and now the Germans are importing coal because they were completely dependent on Russian energy, and now they're in a pinch and are burning coal instead. It's just ridiculous. This whole scam. I hope it goes away soon here in the UK. It's going away very soon in the US, as in January 20th, and it's already, you could see the needle already moving in the US. Energy prices went down. It's probably the only asset class that went down after Trump was elected, because people know that the drillers, the oil producers and gas producers are going to produce a lot more energy. I think the one concern he should have is that prices will be so low that it might not be as profitable at some point. But that's just let the private market work, right? Don't let government mandates and electric vehicle requirements and all the other garbage that are imposed by administrations like the Biden administration, like the current administration here in the UK. Let the private market work it out, and the right price will be a lot lower than it is right now, I assure you.
I think that the great advantage of Donald Trump, of your great country having Donald Trump as the president, is that for all old Trumpy's faults, He is without pretension, and he is not interested in virtue signalling or polishing his own halo. He genuinely understands politics. If you give the people of the country that you run a good deal, life is cheap for them, they've all got jobs, they'll vote you back in. So he gets that. Our lot, they just want to polish their halos and they say to us things like, don't you want to be a world leader in carbon capture? No.
No,
not
Kevin,
really.
it's so obscene.
Yeah.
And it's not just these guys. I mean, we even saw that from Rishi and Boris and
Yeah.
killed me. You know, Rishi and Boris got things done here in the UK that Joe Biden could only dream of. You know, price caps, fracking ban, windfall taxes, all these things that socialists would only dream of getting done. Biden couldn't get that done in the U.S., and yet Rishi and Boris managed to get it done here. It's really criminal.
You're right. You know, the Tories were just as bad. Now we've got these Labour are even worse. And their policies are going to make us, as a nation, everybody in this country, poorer and colder, and it's all about them. I mean, it doesn't make, carbon capture, offshore wind power, solar wind power, it doesn't make any difference. We only produce less than 1% of the world's pollution, so everything we do doesn't make any difference anyway.
These are Kevin, as you know, they're luxury issues, they're boutique issues, they're very fashionable in the salons of Chelsea, but they're not very fashionable in the rest of the country where people actually have to pay the bills. And we saw this in the United States with Biden and his administration. We had a taste of it with Obama. And it's just, let's get back to common sense. Let's do what's right for the country, what's right for the people.
Yeah, and that's what Trump is doing. I mean, just the last question, really, Greg. I mean, I'm sensing from across the Atlantic, almost palpably, I think I talked to you about this when you were over there in Chicago, was it last week or the week before, that the people of America, even those who aren't natural Trump supporters, are thinking, we've got this guy. He's going to unleash the potential of this country by stopping oppressing us with all this woke nonsense, all this green claptrap. He's just going to go about governing that country in a practical and sensible way. No wokery, no greenery, a good deal for the people of America. The people of America are thrilled, aren't they, with this guy?
Absolutely they are. And by the way, net zero and climate and all that never polled over number 8 or 8 or 9 in the polling anyway. So it's just now we have an administration that is paying attention to the people, and as opposed to the Biden administration, which was paying attention to the people in Georgetown and the Upper East Side of Manhattan. And in this case, in the UK, it's the Westminster bubble. It's really sad. I hope it changes here. I feel like it will. I feel like the movement has come over here. You're seeing it in Western Europe. The Germans have an election coming up. It's happening in France. Look, I think that this whole net zero thing is yesterday's news.
Yeah, as soon as possible. As I told you before, all my left-wing American friends from Los Angeles, they said, we're moving, we're coming over to Britain, we're going to live in Britain. I say, I'll see you at the airport, I'll be going the other way. Greg, great to see you, always a pleasure, mate. Let's get you on again soon. Greg Swenson there, chair of the Republican Overseas Organisation.